Hello and welcome to Thursday. Now, today's been pretty intense, so I figured it'd be a great time to actually not talk about what happened today and in fact talk about one of my favorite albums growing up. And that would be Fall Out Boy's Folie deux, A Madness for Two. Folie deux is the follow up to the amazing, incredible, wonderful Infinity on High, and it's somewhat of a black sheep. Folie deux turned 15 just a couple days ago, and I've had it on my radar for the past 5 years wanting to do a review of it. I wanted to do a review of it when it turned 10, and for one reason or another that didn't happen. So the fact that I was doing this whole year of doing reviews, I figured, you know what, we're doing this. Let's talk about the album that turns 15. And turns out it was a big celebration because the band themselves actually wanted to celebrate. They released a variant called Folie a Blue, which is just this album with a blue cover, and the records themselves are blue. I did actually manage to swing a copy of it, so I'm super happy with that. It sold out instantly, and I was with some friends talking about it, and like I pinged them, and I was like, hey, this is gonna be on sale in like 10 minutes. They all knew, but I'm like, hey, get ready, get out your computer. We're all gonna buy this. So I'm like constantly refreshing as it hits 12:30. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? As soon as I see it pop up, into the cart, check out, got the receipt confirmation, done. And then I go back to the store page, it's sold out. I'm like, oh, that's wild. And the people I was talking with did not manage to get a copy, unfortunately, which sucks, but they made 2,500 copies, and so kind of expected with such a big band as Fall Out Boy. But let's talk about the album. I'm actually recording this just a hair past midnight, and that's actually pretty incredible because for the 15th anniversary, they released a song called Pavlov, which was originally a demo put onto the deluxe edition of this album. They just released it on YouTube with the lyric video. They released it on Spotify, so I'm assuming it's available everywhere on all streaming services. But that's just super neat, super incredible that it's like, hey, we know you've wanted this for literal years, so here it is. And now that's being like officially recognized to celebrate the 15th anniversary. Incredible stuff. They also did like a bunch of merch. They have like a teacup and saucer that says "Tempest in a Teacup," which is a song off of is it Heifer Slides into Cooperstown on a Bad Bet? I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it. There's also a bunch of other merch, sweaters, shirts, but the teacup is a super unique one that I found really funny. All of it, kind of expensive, as is with a very popular band, so it happens. But the vinyl was $40, pretty decently priced, so picked it up. Regardless, let's talk about this. It would be the album Folie deux. Have my review of it pulled up here, so let's talk briefly about this iconic album. It's a black sheep of an album. Well, on release, it was not well loved as Infinity on High or From Out Under the Cork Tree, nor was it as loved as the band's debut album, but it's an okay album, their debut. Infinity on High is a masterpiece, and so is From Out Under the Cork Tree. Ranking wise, I'd say Infinity on High is better than Cork Tree, but Folie deux, to me, is the Fall Out Boy album. I've listened to this album hundreds, if not thousands of times, and I figured now would be a great time to just talk about it, celebrate its anniversary. So, let's talk about it. First things first, this album actually had a mixtape debuting some of the songs. I believe just a couple, or maybe like one song on it. We did hear Alpha Dog and a Megalomaniac, which I believe just might be Alpha and Omega on the Greatest Hits collection, or something along those lines. But uh, great, great track. It was on Greatest Hits, but there was one song called America's Sweethearts that actually was on the mixtape. So we heard it there. Wonderful stuff. But the mixtape, it's like 40-ish minutes long. If you really like this album, you might really like the mixtape, or just Fall Out Boy in general. Listen to the mixtape; it's great stuff. But let's quickly talk about the album. First up is a hidden track, which is not here. It's on the CD. It's called Lullaby. It's a lullaby sung by Pete Wentz to his, I believe, his son. I said kid. I believe he has a son. I'm not entirely sure. But it's just more about life lessons to his child. Sung in a beautiful acoustic fashion by Patrick Stump. It's great. Next up is the Disloyal Order of Water Buffaloes. The title is based on the Flintstones cartoon, which has a club called Loyal Order of Water Buffaloes or something along those lines. What did I write? Yeah. And it's just a club that they hang out. This song is just immediately in your face. It just starts off pretty slow. And then just it's just about the band like kind of like falling apart in their later years. How nobody wants to hear about celebrity problems, things like that. This record really showcases like Wentz's skills on the bass. It's a very chunky bass feeling in this record, and Stump's vocals really leaning into the soul and R&B side of things. It's that's the really unique standing like part that makes it stand out. Like while the previous two albums, Cork Tree and Infinity on High, were very much pop punk, emo, and just like pop mostly. Especially for Cork Tree was like super emo. Infinity on High kind of like tones back the emo and leans more into the pop punk kind of side of things. But this record really turns up the punk, turns up the soul, turns out the R&B, and it's wholly unique for that. And I think, Stump really has a soul voice, and it's just like having him lean into that is just super cool. It's unique. It's really fun, and it's a record that the band really wanted to release because it marks a moment in time. Like it's a very album deeply rooted in what the band was dealing with at the time, and it was just it's very strong to like hear about some of this stuff. I Don't Care is just like a song focused around how the band is in the spotlight. They don't care what you think. Any publicity is good publicity. Just they want to just be in the limelight, but then they kind of mix it up a tiny bit with She's My Winona, a song named after the titular Winona Ryder. It's a coming of age story about having a kid and how it changes your whole outlook on life. And I'm not going to touch too much on the instrumentation of this album unless it's like very unique, which song we'll talk about later, we'll come up with. But just imagine a super like tight and chunky bass, like really unique vocals from Stump across the record, and at least for the band, and like incredible guitars, and the drums kind of shine through on some pieces. There's a lot of like violin that we hear on the record too, which is very new for the band. I think it's the only time we've really heard instrumentation like that. So really fun stuff. Next up, America's Sweethearts, the one song that was on Welcome to the New Administration, so likely the song that fans heard first. It's a song about how the media will take, just your average Joe and turn them into a celebrity and just like, change their lives in whatever way. Next up would be Head First Slide into Cooperstown on a Bad Bet, which is the longest song title on this record, and I think it might be the one where, like the last one that has ridiculously long song titles. On Infinity on High, they have, here's the longest one. It's like, I'm like a lawyer with the way I'm always trying to get you off, me and you, and I've got all this ringing in my ears but none on my fingers. So we've had some ridiculously long Fall Out Boy titles, and this might be the end of it, which is a tradition that it's upsetting to see go, but it's fine. This references Pete Rose, and even the song what is it? References how. Yeah. The song title is a reference to Pete Rose, a baseball player who was rejected out of the Hall of Fame for allegedly, and I'm not so sure if it's allegedly, but getting caught for gambling while he was a player and manager for the Cincinnati Reds. It's a song about infidelity and cheating on your partner. Originally titled "Does Your Husband Know," which I think would have made a better song title. But hey, we get a fun one. Slowing Things Down is the ship's gold standard, a song that very much juxtaposes the rest of the album. I Don't Care is about living in the limelight, while Gold Standard is much about giving what did I say? It's getting tired of living in that limelight. One of the stronger tracks on the record, Coffees for Closers, one of my favorites. Just really turns up the instrumentation. Like I said, this song really features violins heavily. Just everything is incredible. The drums are insane. The guitars, the bass, some vocals are going more and more into soul. And this song is titled Coffees for Closers because it's based on a film where the term based on like real estate agents, I believe. So the term closer means somebody who closes a sale, and Coffees for Closers is like one character saying you only get coffee if you're closing the deal. This song, as revealed by Wentz, is a song about how they don't want cameras being pointed at like celebrities going about their daily lives. They want them like, in places that need to be changed. It's a song about change and how, not to get too political, but like, countries that are going through crises. There's a big one at the time. Cameras need to be pointed there and not at like the drama that's happening. It's like, oh, this person went to the store. Probably the strongest, most incredible, deepest track on this record. What a Catch, Donnie. This song is a ballad. I think the first that the band has done, and up to like Mania. I think Mania had the second ballad, or maybe Save Rock and Roll had Save Rock and Roll might have been ballad, but this is the first one that the band did, and it's something. This has a bunch of reprises, and there's so much to it. It's almost nearly acoustic, but it's truly feels like the band's swan song. This was the final music video that they released before announcing their hiatus, and the song and title are a reference to Donny Hathaway, a soul musician, and his writing partner Roberta Flack. The lyrics mention Miss Flack quite a bit, and this song is about specifically Wentz's struggles with his mental health and how the challenges he's faced over the years. What am I saying? It's dedicated to like Wentz wrote it about how about Patrick Stump and how he's helped him so much over the years, trying to like bring him out of a dark place. This song is wild. It features a huge number of singers. It features Elvis Costello for some reason. He sings the chorus from Head Slide into Cooperstown on a Bad Bet, and unfortunately that did not make it to the Greatest Hits collection due to some legal issues, but they basically just like have a bunch of people on the label that they were on just sing the chorus from their previous greatest hits. They get Gabe Sporta of Cobra Starship singing the chorus of Grand Theft Autumn, Where's Your Boy? Travie McCoy of Dream Class Heroes sings the chorus of Sugar We're Going Down. Brendan Urie of Panic at the Disco sings the chorus of Dance Dance. Doug Newman is a manager on the label. He actually released his own album called Doug Does Decadence, which is a weird jazz cover album. It's pretty good. But he sang the where is that? Thanks for the memory. No, it's any scene. It's an arms race. Alexander Delon of the Cabs sang Thanks for the Memories, and William Beckett of the Academy sings Growing Up, which is I believe on the band's demo or Project Rocket or something. It's one of the first songs that the band ever wrote, so it's super neat just hearing all this. There's so much violin that the bass is just incredible. The guitars are wonderful. The drums don't really shine through as much, but because it's a ballad, you want all that deep instrumentation, that soul, that everything. So it's nice that the drums take a back seat. Incredible stuff. There's also the music video. So many Easter eggs to the band's history in there. Wonderful stuff. Shifting gears is 27, another song that references the 27 Club. It's about Pete Wentz, and how he does not want to be a part of the 27 Club, but his high-risk lifestyle has kind of caused a bit of a havoc there. While he did make it past the age of 27 and he's still kicking today, it's really about a point in time where this was a major concern. Tiffany Blues makes a guest appearance with Lil Wayne and Alexander Delon of the Cab, I believe. He was from, yes. It's what is it? It's a song about Wentz saying how he's the crybaby, a hot mess, and he doesn't feel as unique as he is. It's kind of like self-pity or whatever, but really fun. I think it might be one of my favorites on the track, or on the record. WAMS, WAMS, stands for Waitress, Actress, Model, and Singer. The band wrote this with Pharrell, which is super neat. It's pretty funky, pretty soul influenced, and you can hear that Pharrell's work throughout it, if you're familiar with his songs. That one is about how the typical actor actress kind of person moves to California, picks up server jobs or whatever, just doing basic menial tasks while they're waiting for the big break. Next up, $20 Nosebleed features the amphetamine Benzidine, sung by Stump and Brendan Urie of Panic at the Disco. They sing. It's great. It's a super upbeat and happy song about a drug that has kind of become a crutch, known for its treatment for ADHD and sleep or fatigue. It's really kind of they're I believe it may or may not have been one of the drugs that Pete was using prescription or recreationally, and having him talk about that is just a whole thing. My camera has a 20-minute limit of talking for 4K footage, so I'm gonna have to end this in just a sec, but I'm gonna just press stop and press record again. So 1 second, here's the cut, and we're back. Nothing has changed. It only took a split second. And we only have 2 songs left, so West Coast Smoker is the last track on the record proper, at least when it released. It's, a venomous track full of just aggression. Like, I need to find better words for this. But it's just super, super heavy bass. I think the synth that they use is just like a tone going up and up and up. It brings the band back to their emo roots and just super, super gritty. It's about just, while some of this record is about like being concerned with what they've become, this one leans more into the I don't care mentality of let's just cause mayhem, let's do drugs, let's just be unhinged and be a menace to society. It's I love how like vicious this song is, and it's a wild way to close the album. But like I said, because this is being recorded a little bit past midnight, this song was officially released by the band, so let's talk about it. Pavlov is the one track off the deluxe edition that was not a what do you call it? Was not a cover or an acoustic track or a remix. It's one original song. It's a demo. It's a song whose title mentions Dr. Pavlov, who was known for conducting experiments of I forget what it was. It was conditioning. I forget the proper term, but it's like, you ring the bell when you're feeding the dog food, so when you ring the bell, the dog automatically like, salivates or whatever, something like that. So it combines that like aspect with the theme of love, how you can be conditioned, how when you're with somebody, that intoxicating love feeling, even though it might not be a great environment, it's just like, oh, this one thing makes me feel like in love. It's a wild song, but it's one of the strongest demos, and one of the strongest on the record if you consider a part of it, which I do. The like in my listing for the favorite tracks, I listed like how many songs I talked about. So there's 13, 14, 15 tracks on here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 of the tracks did not make it to the favorites. But this album, despite it being like the black sheep of the family, has become a lot of people's favorites, because I think we were left in a time where the band went on a hiatus for it's like 4 years or something. Yeah, because Believers Never Die came in 09, and then Save Rock and Roll came out in 2013. And while they did take a 5-year gap between Mania and So Much for Stardust, this was a point in time where people were able to reflect, and like people grew up with this album too. It came out in 2008, and it's just like, oh, it was super, super gritty for that time. It's like, I was pretty young when the album came out, too, so it's just wild to see that. But I'm glad it's become such a fan favorite and how beloved it's become. It's pretty intense, but I think that's kind of why I like it. It's the band delving into topics that they've never talked about before, how it's deeply rooted in a time where things weren't great with the band, and the music reflects that, how deep and personal Wentz gets with the lyrics, and how the band leans more into their feelings and like the genres they want to play, with the soul and R&B influences dropping a little bit of that emo music, but like super leaning into the punk. It's almost cathartic at points, but it's well deserved, and this album is a masterpiece, to say the least. So yeah, that's my quick-ish review of this piece. I could go on and on about the instrumentation on this and how each track has like beautiful stuff, but we're already running super, super long. This might be one of my longer videos. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, but that's about it for this. So, ooh, glad to have written this after wanting to for the past 5 years. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow. And until then, later.